guys, are you ready for some stories about space and planet Earth? I am. First, we're going to read Here We Are, Notes for Living on Planet Earth, written and illustrated by Oliver Jeffers. Our solar system. So here's the sun. Remember, all the planets orbit around the sun. And then right here, there's us. It says, here we are. There's Earth. That's our planet. Well, hello. Welcome to this planet. We call it Earth. It is the big globe floating in space on which we live. We're glad you found us, as space is very big. There is much to see and do here on Earth, so let's get started with a quick tour. So here's Earth right there, and see the moon? And remember, the moon orbits around Earth. The planet is basically made up of two parts: land, rock and dirt, and sea. See? There's the land, there's the sea. Firstly, let's talk about the land. It's what we are standing on right now. We know lots about the land. And then we have mountains and dirt and trees, and there's a cactus, grass. Then there is the sea, which is full of wonderful things. We know a bit about the sea, but we'll talk some more about that once you've learned to swim. There is also the sky, though that can get pretty complicated. On our planet, there are people. One people is a person. You are a person. You have a body. There's the outside and the inside and the head. Let's see, a couple things. Your brain is in your head. There's your heart in your chest and your lungs. Use your lungs to breathe. Look after it, as most bits don't grow back. The most important things for people to remember are to eat, drink, and stay warm. People come in many shapes, sizes, and colors. We may all look different, act different, and sound different. But don't be fooled. We are all people. You know those people from all sorts of different places? There are animals too. They come in even more shapes, sizes, and colors. They can't speak, though that's no reason not to be nice to them. You have to be nice to animals, right? We love them. We take good care of them. You may not be able to speak yet either, even though your head is filled with questions. You guys can all speak, right? And you're all pretty good at asking questions too. Be patient. You'll learn how to use your words soon enough. Generally, how it works is that when the sun is out, it is daytime and we do stuff. The rest of the time is night, when it is dark, save for the moon, and we sleep. Things can sometimes move slowly here on Earth. More often, though, they move quickly, so use your time well. It will be gone before you know it. Though we have come a long way, we haven't quite worked everything out, so there is plenty left for you to do. You will figure out lots of things for yourself. Just remember to leave notes for everyone else. It looks big, Earth, but there are lots of us on here. So be kind. There is enough for everyone. Well, that is planet Earth. Make sure you look after it. It's all we've got. Now, if you need to know anything else, won't be far away. And when I'm not around, you can always ask someone else. You're never alone on Earth. The end. All right. Next, we're going to read ABC Universe. We'll work on some of those letters. All right. Here's this one, A. A says for astronaut. Astronauts are people who are trained to go into space. The first astronauts landed on the moon on July 20th, 1969. Did you guys know that people have been on the moon? Isn't that amazing? And here's B. B says for black hole. A black hole is formed when a very large star runs out of energy and collapses. Nothing can escape from a black hole if it gets too close. C says like in comet. A comet is a ball of ice and dust. When a comet moves close to the sun, it can form a long, bright tail. Ready? Here's D. D says like dwarf planet. A dwarf planet is round and moves around the sun, but is smaller than a planet. Pluto is the most famous dwarf planet. Here's E. E says Do you guys know what planet this is? That's our planet. That's Earth. If Earth were a little closer or farther from the sun, it would be too hot or too cold for humans, animals, and plants to exist. Good thing Earth's in just the right spot, huh? Here's F. F says like flare. A solar flare is a burst of energy from the surface of the sun. So here's the sun, and these are the flares. They look hot, don't they? Ready? Here's G. What does G say? G for galaxy. Galaxies are made up of dust, gas, and stars held together by gravity. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, has hundreds of billions of stars in it. That is a lot. Ready? For H. For Hubble Space Telescope. The Hubble Space Telescope is a powerful telescope that moves in space and takes pictures of planets, stars, and galaxies. It weighs as much as 2 elephants. That is very heavy. There's the Hubble Space Telescope. Now we have I. I says for, let's see, Io. Here's Io right there. Io is one of Jupiter's many moons. Covered by hundreds of volcanoes, Io is the most volcanically active object in the solar system. So planet Earth, we have one moon, right? Just one moon that orbits around. Jupiter has a whole bunch of moons. And Io is just one. What's this one? J says J for Jupiter. Jupiter is the 5th planet from the sun and the largest planet in our solar system. One of Jupiter's storms, the Great Red Spot, has lasted for hundreds of years. So here's Jupiter, it's really big, and right there, that's the Great Red Spot. That's actually a storm. It's like a big, big hurricane. There is this one. K. K says like Kepler spacecraft. That's this right here. The Kepler spacecraft was launched into space to look for Earth-like planets where liquid water and life might exist. L says la for lunar eclipse. A lunar eclipse occurs when the sun, Earth, and the moon line up, causing Earth's shadow to cover the moon. The moon looks red during a lunar eclipse. M says for moon. The moon is the only natural object to move around Earth. It is also the only other world in outer space that humans have ever visited. And here's letter N. N says n for nebula. A nebula is a cloud of dust and gas in space. Some nebula are places where stars are born. Others are formed when stars die. Very pretty. You guys know this word and the letter. O says ah, ah, ah. And we have orbit. An orbit is the path an object takes as it moves around another object. So remember, we have the sun in the center and all of our planets orbit around it. P, for planets. A planet is a large round object that orbits the sun. There are 8 planets in our solar system. Let's see. Here's our sun, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planets. Q, does Q say? Qua, qua, qua. Q for quasar. Quasars are very bright objects that are in the center of very distant galaxies. And what's this letter? R says r, r, r. For rocket. We know a rocket, don't we? This is a different kind of rocket. Rockets are used to launch satellites, astronauts, and other objects into space. That's how we get to space. The astronauts get on the rocket and they go flying up. S says S for supernova. A supernova is an explosion of a star. It can be incredibly bright and is the largest explosion in space. This photo is of the remains of a supernova explosion. And T is for telescope. T says t, t, t. Telescopes are instruments that help people see faraway items. Astronomers use them to study planets, stars, and other objects in space. Do any of you guys have a telescope at home? U says and this is Uranus. Isn't it pretty? Uranus is the 7th planet from the sun at 1.8 billion miles away. Its orbit around the sun takes 84 years. That is a long time. What's this one? V says va for Voyager. Voyager 1 is a space probe that was launched in 1977 to study the outer solar system. It is the most distant human-made object in space. That looks like. And then we have W. W says wa for white dwarf. A white dwarf is a star that has run out of energy. Billions of years from now, the sun will turn into a white dwarf. X says x. This one's for X-ray binary. An X-ray binary is a pair of stars where one star is collapsed and pulls material off of the other star, producing X-rays. That's interesting. See, this one's pulling all the energy off of that one. Y says yeah for yellow dwarf. A yellow dwarf is a medium-sized star like our sun. Even though it is called a yellow dwarf and looks orange, here our sun is actually white. Z says z for zenith. The zenith is an imaginary point directly overhead. So here's our astronomer with his telescope and the point directly straight above him, right there, ding, that's the zenith. I have one more space book, and this one is very special because I read it when I was a kid, and it's very fun. The Bernstein Bears on the Moon by Stan and Jan Bernstein. On the night before the bears' big day, they look at the moon far, far away. Then morning comes, today is the day. They will go to the moon far, far away. They go, they're gonna get on their rocket. The crowd counts down, the rocket blasts. They wave goodbye, they're off at last. We'll count down, ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off. That's how you count down for a rocket. 2 little bears and 1 little pup. They are off to the moon, going up, up, up. They look back down, but they can't find their treehouse home. They have left it far behind. Where is their town? It is hard to say. Their town is far, far, far away. Now their feet no longer touch the ground. They are out in space. They float around. 2 floating bears and their floating hound. Up ahead, it's a shower. It's a meteor shower. They will have to go through, turn on more power. Meteors are basically rocks floating in space. Will they get to the moon? They will, they must. Their slogan is to the moon or bust. Behind them, the earth is now so small, it is nothing more than a small blue ball. Look, there's Earth. The pup begins to wonder when his paws will touch the earth again. Then up ahead, it's there, the moon. Buckle up tight, we're landing soon. Landing, they're landing in a cloud of dust. They said they would and they said they must. They made it to the moon and they didn't bust. Down onto the old moon they step with pride, 2 bears and a pup along for the ride. Now the bears have many things to do, but first they look around, they enjoy the view. Then they fly their flag, they take moon notes, they collect moon rocks in their moon rock totes. Then they try some jumps high in the sky. Moon jumps almost make you fly. Now it's time to get behind the wheel and explore the moon in their moonmobile. Two bears on the moon, they are all packed up, ready to go home now. So is their pup. Will their ship lift off? Will their rockets burn? Will the two little bears and their pup return? They go. If the two little bears use all their skill, they will return. They will, they will. Two bears and their pup in their rocket ship on their way back home on their back to Earth trip. To their friends on the ground, to their house safe and sound. Safe back on the earth, they step out of their ship. Wow, say the bears, that was quite a trip. Now they look up at the stars, very far away. Will they go up to a star? Well, they may someday. The end. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed those stories. Me and Miss Lauren miss you all so much. We hope we can go back to school soon.